Aloha! Lilo here with my alien pal Stitch. Stitch loves Elvis, can't swim, but boy can he dance. He's like a blue, furry tornado on the dance floor. Next up, Scooby-Doo. He's a Great Dane with a big heart and an even bigger appetite for Scooby snacks. He might be scared of ghosts, but he's fearless when it comes to busting a move. Top Cat. This cool cat's always got a plan and a way to charm the ladies. He's a smooth operator, especially on the dance floor. And then there's me, the Doctor. Time traveler, adventurer, and dance enthusiast? Well, let's just say I've been known to bust a move or two across time and space. Picture this. The TARDIS, my trusty time machine. Bigger on the inside, of course. We're all here, thanks to a little wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. Stitch is bouncing off the walls, literally. Scooby's sniffing out snacks. Top Cat's eyeing the TARDIS console, probably scheming about how to hotwire it. And me? I'm just trying to explain the wonders of time travel before we get whisked away on another epic adventure. Hold on tight, the TARDIS is in overdrive. We're zipping through wormholes, dodging asteroids, and did we just fly past a giant disco ball? Suddenly, the TARDIS lands with a jolt. Where are we? Lilo asks. I check the scanner. A planet populated by dancing aliens? Music is pumping, the aliens are boogieing, and it's time for a dance-off. Stitch is spinning like a top, his little legs a blur. Scooby's doing the doggy paddle, somehow defying gravity. Top Cat's cutting a rug with an alien who looks a lot like a very tall chicken. And me? I might be a Time Lord, but I'm no slouch on the dance floor. Let's just say my moves are out of this world. We're all laughing, spinning, and shaking our stuff. It's a cosmic dance party for the ages. The aliens are loving it, we're loving it. Proof that even in the farthest reaches of space, music, laughter, and a little bit of dancing can bring...
The Hawaiian sun beamed. Lilo and Stitch were building a sandcastle.
We're making a sandcastle.
Suddenly, a blue box appeared. It was the TARDIS, and out popped the Doctor. Before anyone could say aloha, Top Cat sauntered in, his alley cat gang trailing behind.
What's all this then?
We're making a sandcastle.
Stitch grinned, showing off a mouthful of sharp teeth. The Doctor's eyes widened.
Is that alien tech?
He exclaimed, pointing at Stitch. Stitch puffed up his chest, proud. Lilo rolled her eyes.
He's my dog, she said, as if it were the most normal thing in the world.
Dog? He looks more like a walking experiment.
The Doctor retorted, pulling out his sonic screwdriver. Stitch growled, baring his teeth. Lilo stomped her foot.
Don't be mean to Stitch.
Top Cat, seeing an opportunity for mischief, sidled up to Stitch.
So, you think you're tough, huh?
He sneered. Stitch crossed his arms, unimpressed.
Top Cat, leave him alone.
Stay out of this, little girl.
He turned back to Stitch.
I bet I could steal that shiny thing from that blue box before you could even blink.
He said, gesturing to the TARDIS with his thumb. Just then, a brown blur came racing towards them. It was Scooby-Doo, barking excitedly. He skidded to a halt, sending sand flying. He whimpered, taking in the tense scene. Everyone turned to look at Scooby. The tension seemed to dissipate as they watched the goofy Great Dane. Lilo giggled. S5, media group, girl giggling, dog looking surprised, outdoors at stock at distribute_equally. Roo-row.
Scooby!
She cried, running towards him. The Doctor chuckled.
Well, that's one way to break the ice,
he said, putting away his sonic screwdriver. Even Top Cat cracked a smile. It seemed like Scooby-Doo had, once again, saved the day, just by being his clumsy, lovable self.
Stitch and Top were best friends. They loved adventures. One day they decided to explore the woods. I dare you to knock on the door, Stitch said. He pointed at the creepy old house. Top felt scared. Okay, he said, trying to be brave. The house stood at the edge of the woods. It was dark and quiet. No lights shined. Cobwebs covered the door. Top crept towards the porch. His heart pounded in his chest. He raised his hand to knock. Before he could touch it, the door creaked open. A voice boomed from inside. "Who's there?" Top jumped back. He bumped into Stitch. They both gasped. Two figures stood in the doorway. One was tall and thin with long arms. The other was short and round with glowing eyes. "Don't be scared," the tall one said. His voice was deep and echoey. "We're G-Man and Boogman. Come in." Stitch and Top hesitated. They didn't know whether to run or stay. but Gee-Man and Boogman seemed friendly. They cautiously entered the house. Inside, it was warm and cozy. A fire crackled in the fireplace. The aroma of cookies filled the air. Gee-Man offered them tea and cookies. Stitch and Top soon learned that Gee-Man and Boogman were not scary at all. They were just lonely. They loved making new friends. Stitch and Top spent the rest of the afternoon playing games and telling stories. As the sun began to set, it was time for Stitch and Top to go home. They said goodbye to their new friends and promised to visit again soon. They walked back through the woods, no longer scared, but filled with the warmth of new friendship.
The crackling fire warmed our mismatched group. Lilo, small but mighty, sat beside Stitch, his blue fur glowing in the firelight. Top Cat, ever the charmer, leaned back on his elbows, a twinkle in his eye.
Ah, nothing like a good story to brighten the night.
I, the doctor of course, fiddled with my sonic screwdriver, eager to add a bit of time-traveling flair to the evening. We were a strange bunch, gathered in the Hawaiian night, brought together by a shared love of stories. The air crackled with anticipation.
Story time, story time!
Lilo, bouncing with excitement, urged us to begin.
Well, if no one minds, I'll go first.
Top Cat, always the showman, volunteered first. He cleared his throat, ready to weave a tale of his adventures on the city streets, no doubt with himself as the charming rogue hero. I settled back, eager to see what this motley crew would come up with. Stitch, meanwhile, rummaged through a bag of marshmallows, his antennae twitching with excitement. It was going to be a good night. Top Cat launched into a hilarious tale of outsmarting Officer Dibble, his voice rising and falling with dramatic flair.
And just when Dibble thought he had me cornered, I slipped through the alleyway like a shadow.
He painted vivid pictures with his words, making us feel like we were right there on the bustling city streets alongside him. Lilo, her eyes wide with wonder, went next.
Stitch learned the true meaning of Ohana, and that means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
She spun a heartwarming story about Stitch learning the true meaning of Ohana, her voice filled with love for her strange but loyal companion. I, eager to share, told a thrilling tale of a daring escape from a collapsing star system, complete with sound effects from my trusty sonic screwdriver.
And just as the star began to implode, we made our escape, the TARDIS whirring to life.
The others listened, captivated, as I described the wonders and dangers of time travel. With each story, the fire seemed to burn brighter, casting dancing shadows on our faces. Laughter filled the air, interspersed with gasps of surprise and moments of quiet reflection. A rustling in the bushes broke the spell. Two figures emerged from the darkness. One, tall and lanky with glowing green eyes, the other short and stout with a mischievous grin. It was the Boogman and Gee-Man.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, what's up, folks?
We were all taken aback. What were these two doing here? The Boogman, usually a fearsome sight, seemed oddly subdued. Gee-Man, on the other hand, bounced on the balls of his feet, eyes twinkling with mischief. They joined our circle, their arrival adding a layer of unexpected excitement. The Boogman, surprisingly, shared a touching tale about overcoming his fear of the dark.
Even the darkest shadows can be a place of comfort if you learn to face them.
Gee-Man, true to his nature, told a series of outrageous jokes that had us all in stitches.
Why did the computer go to the doctor? Because it had a virus.
As the night deepened, we shared more stories, each one a testament to our unique personalities and experiences. The fire crackled, casting a warm glow on our faces. We laughed, we gasped, we learned from each other. Even though we were from different worlds, with different backgrounds and experiences, we found common ground in our love of storytelling. The night deepened, the fire slowly died down, leaving behind glowing embers and the lingering warmth of shared laughter and adventure.
This was the best night ever.
Gotta say, it's been a real treat.
Nights like these are truly timeless.
I'll remember this always.
Same here, folks.
As we finally settled down for the night, the stars twinkling above us like a million tiny campfires, I knew this was a night we would never forget. We had shared more than just stories. We had shared a part of ourselves. And that, I realized, was the true magic of storytelling. To Britain. Not just for a vacation, but for Britain's Got Talent. Lilo had always loved singing and dancing. Scooby? Well, he was a natural-born entertainer, even if he was scared of his own shadow sometimes. Lilo had a special talent. She could bring puppets to life. Scooby was her trusty assistant and moral support. He also had a knack for sniffing out Scooby snacks, but that was a story for another day. They practiced their act every day on the beach in Hawaii. Lilo with her ukulele and her puppets, and Scooby with his goofy charm were ready. Ready for our big adventure, Scooby? Lilo asked, her eyes sparkling. Scooby, munching on a Scooby snack, nodded enthusiastically. Britain's Got Talent, here they come. The flight to Britain was long. Lilo kept Scooby entertained with stories of the Queen and Big Ben. Scooby, of course, was more interested in the in-flight snacks. After all, a growing dog needed his energy, right? They landed in London and went straight to their hotel. It was fancy. Scooby, used to sleeping in his doghouse, was very impressed by the fluffy bed. Lilo couldn't wait to explore the city, but first they had to practice. Okay, Scooby, Lilo said, setting up her puppets. Remember the plan? Scooby barked, grabbing a puppet in his mouth playfully. Lilo giggled. No, Scooby, not like that. Their room was filled with laughter as they practiced their act. The day arrived. Lilo, dressed in a sparkly hula skirt, and Scooby, with a red bow tie, waited nervously behind the stage. The music started. It was their cue! Lilo strummed her ukulele, singing a cheerful Hawaiian song. Scooby danced along, his ears flopping. Then, the magic began. Lilo's puppets came alive. They sang, they danced, they even told jokes. Scooby, pretending to be scared, ran around the stage, making the audience roar with laughter. For the grand finale, Lilo made the puppets disappear. Scooby, in a moment of unexpected bravery, pulled out a bouquet of flowers from thin air. It was a magical performance. The music stopped. Silence. Then, thunderous applause. The audience loved them. The judges, even Simon Cowell, were smiling. Lilo and Scooby took a bow, their hearts filled with joy. They didn't win the competition, but that didn't matter. They had shared their love for each other, their culture, and the magic of friendship with the world. As they walked off the stage, hand in paw, Lilo knew this was just the beginning of their adventures. We did it, Scooby! Lilo exclaimed, hugging him. Scooby licked her face, barking happily. They had shown the world that with friendship and a little bit of belief, anything was possible.
There, families. Gather round, because today I've got an epic showdown for you. Imagine this. It's a dark and stormy night, and the wind howls through the trees. Who's that in the distance? It's our favourite magic cowboy, G-Man. Now, G-Man isn't just any cowboy. He's got a magical lasso and a heart of gold. But tonight, he faces his toughest challenge yet. The ghost villain, Maximilian. Maximilian is no ordinary ghost. Clad in dark, flowing robes and with eyes that glow like embers, he's been stirring up trouble all over town. Spooky, right? But G-Man isn't afraid. With a flick of his wrist, he twirls his magical lasso and sets off to save the day. The wind whips through his hair, and the stars sparkle like tiny diamonds in the sky. Just when it seems like all hope is lost, G-Man hears a familiar voice. It's Boogman, the friendly spirit who always appears by the campfire to share stories and wisdom. Boogman tells G-Man that Maximilian's power comes from a cursed amulet hidden deep in the ghostly forest. G-Man nods, determination in his eyes. He knows what he has to do. With Boogman guiding him through the shadows, they venture into the heart of the forest. The trees seem to whisper secrets, and eerie lights flicker in the distance. Finally, they reach the ancient ruins where the amulet is kept. Maximilian appears, his ghostly form swirling and menacing. But G-Man, with Boogman's help, stands his ground. With a quick move, he throws his magical lasso, capturing the amulet. As the cursed amulet shatters, Maximilian's power fades, and he vanishes into thin air. The forest returns to its peaceful state, and the stars shine brighter than ever. Gaman and Bugman share a victorious smile. So remember, families, no matter how spooky things get, there's always hope when you have friends by your side. Stay brave, stay kind, and keep those campfire stories alive. Until next time, see ya.